Have you ever felt like you called out to your guides and your guardians and you were asking them for support and they never responded? Or have you had the feeling that there are these supernatural abilities that are meant to be activated in your being now? Or have you ever felt like bad things just keep happening to you and you don't understand why, and it seems like there's no way out of it? So there might be a key that can unlock the door, the gateway to understanding why that is. So there might be a particular reason why it can be accessed from inside of yourself, and it lives inside of all of us, and it's referred to as the subconscious. So many people speak about the subconscious, and much of what is said about the subconscious is that, I'm pointing to the back of my head now because it's said to exist. It's beyond our consciousness. So our consciousness, we're experiencing our consciousness a lot forward facing, this what we're aware of, and subconscious or our unconscious. Our unconscious, our subconscious being beneath the surface of our awareness, and it said that there's 95% is subconscious and 5% is consciousness. So how do we become aware of our subconscious and what is there? And there's a lot of information that exists about the subconscious, and you can find so many videos also about the subconscious, and many great teachers are sharing their knowledge and their wisdom and their direct experience from the subconscious. And from my particular lens, in some sense, I've been working with the subconscious for many years by now, because my particular role in the world has mostly been as a shamanic practitioner. So I'm picking up this rattle because this is one of the ways you could say that we connect with the subconscious. That is also the place where spirit and these different dimensions can stream into this reality, or can be channeled or streamed in. The rattle is one of the ways that one can go into a trance state, which is essentially a kind of slower brainwave state, which is a form of, it's kind of like a hypnotic state, meaning one is their consciousness is kind of in a trance state, so it's more going into stasis, and then the subconscious is able to be communicated with more easily, which is also sometimes referred to as the mind of God, the mind of Source, that, again, we all have access to. So this is one of the ways that the gate to the subconscious opens up, and that's one of the ways that a lot of shamanic practitioners or people that work with the spiritual dimensions access those realms, is through this, again. So we become adept, A-D-E-P-T, we become adept or accustomed to accessing those other realms, or we kind of become more accustomed to slowing down our brainwave states. And there's so much that could be said about that, but I won't for now. But just to say, essentially, that's why I'm speaking about that. I've been working with the subconscious for many years, and in my healing studies and practices and so on and so forth. But there have been blocks that I've noticed with clients or people that I've worked with through the years of their common hindrances or blocks to their connecting with particular beings that they're wanting to connect with, or feeling like they're able to receive like a reliable connection, or they're clearly able to hear what they're saying, the spirit guides that they're connecting with, or their ancestors, or that when they ask for something, that they feel like they're being responded to, that there feels like there's a clear feedback that's happening. And so people wonder why, or we may wonder why. And again, so the answer is quite likely in your subconscious. So the subconscious, many people speak about, is that when we're in the ages, first in our mother's belly when she's pregnant with us, and then up until the age, oftentimes it's said around the age of 7. So we're essentially in a trance state, in the kind of brainwave state that the child is in, or the little one is in, growing up until around the age of 7. So we're in this highly susceptible, essentially it's kind of a form of a trance state where the brainwaves are in a very slow waveform, and we're essentially able to download or allow our being to imprint what we're seeing and hearing and experiencing, practically speaking, that could be useful for the, if you want to refer to it as getting, it's a funny way to say it maybe, but kind of getting downloaded with programs from our parents, from our family, from our teachers, culture, then ideally that would be helpful in having a healthy life and going on to have some really enriching experiences, this kind of thing. So, however, these experiences that many of us have experienced, those, along with so many others to follow, are now functioning in our subconscious as, you could say, programs, or they're also filters on reality. And I feel there's growing awareness around this in different communities of people that are, in self-development communities, or people that are working to consciously create, or people that are healing themselves, or all kinds of communities that are growing. I feel like this is just more and more common knowledge, which is really great because it's helpful to understand how we function, what we're made of, and how our being functions. And for many of us who might wonder too, is like, how is there so much chaos happening in one's life or around them? And these could be some of the deeper reasons why. So there's a lot that could be said about it, but I'll try to kind of keep it a little more basic and say, as an example, let's say, as an example, you were a child, and I'm actually connecting in with spirit right now to see what would be like perhaps a really helpful. Okay, let's say you were a child around age 4, and you were, as many children are, you're very connected to the spirit world, and you were in a regular connection with your guide, one of your guides, and you told your mom about it, and your mom said, no, that's not real, that's your imagination. And as a little one, you were saying, well, no, that's my friend, and he told me, and you're telling your mom about this spirit guide. She's saying, no, that's your imagination. And maybe you open up and you tell a friend about it, and they say, spirit's not real, that's your imagination, that's make-believe. And maybe you tell another friend, and your friend says, you shouldn't talk about that anymore, that's bad, God will punish you for that. Okay, so let's just take that as an example. And it's stored in the back of your mind as beliefs. God will punish you. This is potentially one of the stored beliefs. It's not real, it's make-believe, these kinds of beliefs. And then let's say it was so painful for you because this was somebody that was so close to you and cared so much for you and felt like some being that was, kind of everything to you. And then now you're disconnecting from that guide and having all these strange feelings about it, because now you feel shame and you feel all kinds of things. So now, fast forward maybe 15 years or something, and this feeling, somehow you get positively activated when you watch certain movies or you hear people talk about spirit guides and guardians, and there's a sense of longing or something that happens inside of you, and there's something that's trying to awaken in you, and that those guides and guardians that are trying to help you, they're trying to find ways to let you know that it's real and it can be trusted. And so let's say that you have some kind of expanding experience, and some part of you just knows, this is real. I know it's real. Your heart just knows, this is real. I feel it. I have these goosebumps every time. I just know it's real. So your heart knows it's real, yet still there's this subconscious, this sequence of subconscious beliefs, emotional imprints, could have been really traumatizing experience that happened. And so you're going forward and you're reading books and you're maybe watching videos and you're trying to find a way to continue to gain the courage to do this, something that many say is not real. And then you're in this process, and then there continues to be this voice in your head that says, you shouldn't be doing this. This is bad. This is wrong. This is not real. So there's an inner conflict, and you could, many people do, make the choice to say, because it seems like it's coming from within you, oh, I don't know, I guess I was just fooling myself. I guess this is not real. I should just stop. Or maybe the faith, something inside of you still knows, some part of you still knows it's real. Still there's this inner conflict. And so you have what could be referred to as a few programs running subconsciously, so you may not be conscious that it's happening in the background, and it's creating this kind of inner conflict and mixed in with shame. And then it's like, maybe there's something wrong with this, maybe this is bad, and you can see how things can get really convoluted. Also, as we were talking about this example of, why do chaotic things keep happening in my life? Why do so many bad things happen? What is going on? Am I just cursed? What's going on? What's happening? Another example could be that when you were a child, that there were experiences that you had repetitively, or you were in environments repetitively where that's what you saw, even at a distance, and this visual experience created feelings inside of you, and you could have felt a lot of fear, you could have felt terror, you could have felt all these feelings, and when you're in this kind of really impressionable state, it kind of gets downloaded as a program. Again, it's something in the subconscious, and so until that is reconciled, healed, resolved in some way, then it's in the background. And it could be, when people speak about triggers, it can be triggered, it can be activated at some point, and then you might see outer reality looking a certain way, and it activates this thing, this sequence that's in your subconscious, and then you can go into feeling completely overwhelmed, and then all of these images and things that could come from television, and it all kind of gets bled together, and it can contribute to a lot of confusion, feeling overwhelmed, feeling powerless. And we could have also had this feeling that if you were a child and the divine was expressed to you as God, and you believed in God, meaning that's how you experience the divine, is that you pray to God, and there's all these ideas that come from religious stories about who God is and what God is like, and then you believe those, because again, you're in this really impressionable state, and it all kind of gets downloaded as reality or factual, and then you're just imagining that it happens just like that. And maybe the story goes, God favors this and God punishes this. So if you're on this side, you'll have favoritism. On this side, you'll get punished or something, and you believe that. And then you're in day-to-day reality as a little one or now, and things seem so unjust, and you maybe pray and you feel that nobody is answering, and why would all this be happening that feels so unjust? It's possible that it's all this, how things can get very convoluted when you have one overlay, one program on top of a program on top of a program on top of a program, and then there's all these different kinds of mixed messages that are going even through one's own being that can prohibit a clear connection happening from us and Source, Mother, Father, God, or however one experiences universal energy. It can be so many ways that one connects with the unified energy, the divine love source. So one can pray and go into this space and then feel, I don't understand, why is nothing happening? Well, it could be because a child prayed and nothing happened, and then a belief was made that is, God has abandoned me, God doesn't listen to me, nothing happens. So all of these are different examples of all kinds of reasons why or what could contribute to now, present day, when so many are feeling called to connect with their ancestors and their guides and their guardians, and they're wondering, I don't understand, why does it feel like this? It's not happening. It happens sometimes, it doesn't happen other times. It may simply be because there's old beliefs, programs, information that needs to be released from the subconscious in order for you to be simply having a direct connection with the source of creation, with your ancestors and with your guides and guardians. And as I experience it, being a woman who is, you could say, a bridge or moves between realms, dimensions, what I experience from being more, or what I experience more so from hearing the different guides and guardians, is that they're actually trying to reach the humans that they're connected to. They're trying to be supportive, they're trying to be helpful. And this was part of why they asked me to kind of go into a deeper dive into the subconscious in the past few years, especially kind of going deeper into my own and in supporting others to be able to kind of make some of these connections and help to understand why are people not able to hear them, what's happening. And there could be so many reasons, but this ultimately, all the different reasons you could say are also sprouting from the subconscious. So again, imagining that 95%, it said approximately 95% of our reality is coming from, it's emitting from our subconscious beliefs, experiences, so on and so forth, are helping to shape reality with the spiritual dimensions. And so the good news is when one decides to go into the subconscious in some way that you can start to access and release these energies, release this old information, these beliefs that may have nothing to do with your actual soul and your essence, so that you can increasingly so experience more ease and grace and depth of connection and beautiful relationships and happiness, and so much goodness is there. The more we're essentially, you could say it's helping to release the blocks between us and the flow of the love of creation. The love of creation can stream into our being through us unobstructed the more we release these different, all kinds of things, while simultaneously being willing to release anger, bitterness, transmuting and alchemizing jealousy and envy and all of these things that are these human experiences that they're not wrong. They're simply emotional experiences that we can have. However, they are also part of shaping your reality, shaping your life, and can be highly supportive to alchemize a lot of these older experiences, these older energies, so that you can make way. It's kind of like tending this your being a gardener, tending the soil of your being, so that you're cultivating the soil and putting beautiful seeds in there, golden seeds that you're choosing to put in there to have all these incredible experiences that we're in this time of, I believe it's meant to be, and this is the way I get guided, is accelerated growth and transformation. This age of Aquarius, this age, the spirits refer to it as the, like we've entered into this new epoch, this new golden age, that the more we're actively participating in this alchemization and this transmutation, then we can actually start to experience more of the beauty and the goodness of it, and that we're awakening in this way is also awakening our potency as creators with the love of the spiritual dimensions, and then maybe these longings or these experiences that you've had in your heart that you just have this feeling, I need to do this, I need to create, that there's something that is inside of me that's needing expression. And so this can help and make way for that expression. And it's just been recently that Spirit has guided me in this certain kind of way. There's a way that they're working with me currently. It's to support I have been working one-on-one with people for quite a while, but it's a new way that I'm working with the spiritual dimensions, that when I work with somebody one-on-one, they're helping to their guides, that person's ancestors and guides and guardians, and their higher soul, their subconscious guides me, I guess you could say, in releasing that which is obstructing, which the person is wanting to experience, to release, that essentially you have the potential to actualize anything, really anything that your heart is longing for, that your heart is feeling that longing is potentially compelling you forwards into developing more and more of your greatness. Your greatness also being your higher soul, being physically embodied in this dimension. And we are at this, in a sense, it's as we connect with these particular energies, these new energies that are alive on Earth now, as of recently, from the various solar flares that are happening, this kind of plasma and the ways that it's lighting up our light body, as we're remembering how to actually work with this energy that is evolving our DNA. And this is what I was speaking about earlier, about these abilities that are inside of us that are meant to be developing now, and the subconscious being a really, really potent key, or there are all kinds of keys and codes that are inside of your subconscious that can help to release these different boulders and the streams and these various blocks, so that you may experience the flow of whatever it is that you're wanting to experience, the flow of abundance, the flow of unconditional love, the flow of your medicine, that which lives inside of you, that has the power to heal others, to support others. Now is the time. That's what I really feel inside of my heart, and that's the way that I'm being guided by Spirit, is to come here and make this video, is to encourage you. Please believe in yourself. Please believe in your dreams. Please believe in your medicine. There are so many guides and guardians around that are really trying to reach you. And I believe you'll experience the most fulfilling kind of love, this good feeling inside when you overcome, when you transmute, when you alchemize, when that which seemed to be just block after block is just now released. And it's such a beautiful feeling to experience and to see, to witness in others when they have that sense of overcoming, transmuting, alchemizing, liberating, being a liberated soul. There are many ways, many techniques that one can go into the subconscious through these different slowing the brainwave state, going into these different ways and putting in, imprinting the subconscious with positive beliefs, positive suggestions, which when you kind of go on autopilot, which many of us do most of the time, you're kind of just going about your day and these subconscious beliefs, stories, imprints are just running. They're running in the background. There are ways that you can imprint in this way into the subconscious, so increasingly so you can have good feelings, good, what I've found is when you go into the subconscious and you work with somebody or with yourself, however one goes about this, then you're able to alchemize that. Then it's kind of like releasing the weeds at the roots of them, rather than trying to put all of these new seeds inside of a garden that's full of weeds that you'll just keep having to pull out and pull out until you get them at the roots. When you root them out, when you get them at the roots, then the healthy seeds, the healthy garden can just grow and grow and grow and flourish. So so like I mentioned, so one of the many ways that exists on planet Earth at this time, many people are working in this way with the subconscious in many ways to release and to transform and to alchemize. For those that are feeling called to work together in these Liberated Soul Sessions, I do have a wait list and my website for the one-on-one sessions, and may this be supportive to your journey.